Don't forget who you are. Do-do-do-do-do. Don't forget who you are. Oh my gosh, y'all, song has been playing in my head for weeks. And I've been thinking about not only just not forgetting, right? Not forgetting who we are. But what I really want for us is to remember, to really remember who and what we are as divine emanations of the Holy One. This holy blessed one that has birthed itself into all of creation is the very spark of creation in all of life. That is you, that is me, that is every creature, that is every atom and molecule. And not only is it important not to forget it, but maybe we need to remember and discover it more truly and more wholly. I am Reverend Amani Malaika, and that's the series I want to get into for the month of July. And I just want you to know that this series is an invitation to being more consciously, period. To being, to consciously be who you are, wholly, beautifully, completely. And then to consciously become more and more and more and more of that. So that's what this series is really about. This is what I want to invite you into. And I want you to know that you don't have to do it alone. If you are in the Albuquerque area, please join us on Sunday afternoons at 4 p.m. If you are participating online, go to our website, ABQCSL.org, and find out about some small groups that are going on Zoom, small groups we've got in person locally. And I just want you to know that this community is a community of practice where we get to come together and consciously be and become the truth of who we are. And because we do that, we transform our own lives and the communities we belong to. And it is so, so good. Don't forget, consciously be. This is, I don't know, sometimes I feel like missing in our culture, right? To be. Just to be. Like, that's enough. You know, we are so socialized to do and have. But it all starts with being. And I don't think we give being enough of the attention and energy and resource that it deserves, that you deserve, right? Your beingness is a divine reality, right? That you exist as part of this divine reality, this greater reality is an amazing, miraculous thing. And so to give ourselves permission to just be, even in the midst of the chaos, even in the midst of multiple genocides across the planet, even in the midst of an election season that is like crazy making, right? To still give yourself permission to just be. And how practiced are we at just being, right? That can be just nerve-wracking, like just to just be still. To just be, not have to do something, not have to achieve something, not have to prove something, not have to fix yourself or become something else. But to just be. How is that? And then to do so intentionally, right? That's what spiritual living really is about. It's about intentionally living as a member of a greater reality that I call the divine or God or the beloved or the holy blessed one. But to live spiritually begins with consciously being and becoming. And to consciously be means that you get to awaken and experience the truth of who you are. That you are divinely made and you are allowing yourself to be that. You're becoming more conscious of what that is, what you are as a divinely made, unique emanation of the Holy Blessed One. And the becoming part of that is the awakening to it, to the revealing of more and more of it, to discovering more and more of what you truly are, who you actually are. And then often the peeling away of the things that are not that, right? The misunderstandings, the misbeliefs, the things you were taught and handed that are not true to you. But it all starts with choosing to be awake and conscious and aware of who you are. Who are you being? Take a moment with me right now and just sit with that question. Who am I being? Who am I being? How am I being? And then all that comes with that question, right? All that comes with being awake and conscious of those answers, to receive them, to be with them, taking the time to be with your own being. And then being with yourself in a way that allows yourself to just meet you right now as you are, how you are, who you are. Without judgment, good or bad, just to be. And because you and I choose to consciously be and become more of who we truly divinely have been made to be, because we do that, we now have a strategy, right? We have a strategy of how and who to be in these times of chaos, of the great turning, of the apocalypse, of the fall of civilization, of whatever you are relating to this moment in history as. And I think it's all of those things. And we need a strategy, right? We need a strategy as spiritual people, as people who have decided that we want to live a spiritual life. How do we do that in these times? And I believe it's the choice you and I can make that it makes the most sense in these times, is to become more conscious and more awake and more aware of the truth of our own being, right? And so to do that now in this moment allows a strategy to come forward. Like, wait, how in the hell do I live in this time? What do I do? What is mine to do? How do I survive? How do I continue to find joy and any sense of peace and not be completely swallowed in despair at the state of the world, at the circumstances in my community and my city, and the raging poverty and homelessness? How do I continue to be, to breathe, to just simply breathe in this moment? Conscious being is one of those answers. Choosing to become more awake to myself as spiritually made, as divinely put onto the planet with breath in my body as Amani, Malaika in this moment in history on purpose. And to be that is a strategy for this time. To be that, to attend to that, to give my time and attention to returning and remembering, discovering that I am here by divine appointment on purpose. And as I become more awake to that truth, that awakeness, that conscious becoming allows me to be in this moment in history. It's a strategy. It's also a way, because I'm awake and aware and conscious of my true nature and willing to become more so, I then become a waymaker for more of that truth, of that love, of that light to become manifest in this time. I become a waymaker for my own becoming, and I become a natural presence of goodness, of love, of light, of possibility, of hope for others. I become a way of love because I choose to become more conscious of the true nature of my own being. And then if that is not enough, you and I become more awake and alive to the truth of who we are, so that then we can be more at choice. It's a popular phrase in this teaching, to be at choice. But really what that means in like the Buddhist tradition, another faith tradition, is equanimity. To have spaciousness, to choose. Because I become more awake and aware to the truth of my own nature, because you become more awake and aware of the truth of your nature, your unique, beautiful nature. That gives you the space, the pause to choose how to be in any moment, in any set of circumstances, no matter how crazy, no matter how heartbreaking. Your conscious being, your conscious becoming becomes a way for you to be spacious in how you move in the world, to be so centered and grounded in the truth of who you are, that there is an intelligence awake in your mind as part of this one mind that knows what to do next, that becomes conscious of, awake to, tuned into the next right step. It gives you the holy, awakened consciousness to choose well, to choose love, to choose righteously, to choose to participate actively in the good of the moment. Whatever the moments are that are presenting themselves to you in your life, where you are. These are 3 amazing reasons to choose conscious being and becoming. That you have a strategy to how to live in this time of banana-ness, that you get to become what I would call a vibe maker, a way maker, influencer in the best sense of the word. And that it gives you the spaciousness and the equanimity to choose in any moment, in any set of circumstances. So these are the 3 things I want to dive into throughout the month of July, about why we would become more conscious when in this moment in history, it's kind of nice to maybe think about going back to sleep, right? Like, could I just go numb? Could I just completely dissociate from the reality of the world right now? Can I just distance myself and numb myself and just close my eyes? And I'm asking you, as someone who has opted into spiritual living, to become more awake, to become more conscious, to become more of who you have been divinely designed to be. If there is a solution the world is seeking, humanity is seeking, that solution comes through you and I being more of who we are, who we've been divinely made to be. That is the call of our time. That's what we'll be talking about in July, and a whole bunch of talking about how to do it, how to be more conscious, how to become more of who we are. And what I know for sure is the answer to that always is practice. We practice being, we practice becoming. We find the ways that help us remember the truth of who we are, and help us return to that and help us discover more of who we are, more honestly, more authentically, more truly, and then return to that. And it's practice. We remember, we discover, we return again and again and again. And hopefully we do that together, sweetly in community, because there's no other way. This is not a solo life you and I live. We were not born onto isolated islands. You and I are here together by divine appointment on purpose, by no mistake. And I believe that you deserve to be held and seen and witnessed and loved as you remember. Right? Because you and I, we're going to stumble, we're going to make mistakes, we're going to be people that we aren't really. We are going to be mistaken in how we are being. Right? We're going to do harm, we hurt each other, and then we return, and then we remember, and we seek forgiveness, and we make apology. And one of the beautiful, 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 beautiful things about doing this work intentionally and consciously in community is so that we can seek forgiveness when we hurt each other. Very intentionally, we have ways to do that. So that when we bump into each other, when we are mistaken in our belief and our behavior, when we misunderstand, we've got a community of people around us that help us return. Where I can come to you and say, beloved, beloved, I am so sorry. I said a thing that I did not mean. I bumped into you in a way that was harmful and I apologize. How can I treat you better? Share with me some ways to be more kind and loving to you that work for you. All of this is what it means to be part of a community of practice. Because we can only do so much sitting on our meditation cushion. And trust me, you will sit on a meditation cushion in this series. It is one of the practices we will get into. Silence, solitude, sitting still enough to feel the truth of our being, and getting quiet enough to hear the divine intelligence in our own minds, in our own bodies. We are going to rest. We are going to slow down so that we can consciously be and become. And first, we're going to get into prayer. Yes, I said prayer. I know that word is weird for some folks, right? Some folks cringe at the idea of praying because it feels like there's only one way to pray to some white guy sitting on a cloud in the sky who's handing out judgment or favor. And I want to invite you into reclaiming that word to mean something entirely different. To really just mean that I'm going to be in conversation with the greater reality. I'm going to be in direct relationship with this something greater, with this divine, with this holy, blessed one that is right where I am and beyond me. And there's so many ways to pray. And so I want to talk about that because I believe prayer is this incredible technology that we have forgotten that serves you and I to be more conscious, to welcome in our becoming in a way that can't be done if we're trying to do it by ourselves with our own small, micro piece of this greater love that is available. And prayer is one of the ways we get contact with that and make use of this greater good. And there's so many ways to pray. And we're going to talk about who do I get into conversation with? This holy blessed one. How do I get into conversation? Maybe you get into conversation with the holy blessed one through your angels. Maybe you get into conversation with the holy blessed one with the greater reality through your ancestors, through saints, through chosen ancestors and holy blessed prophets of the past. Maybe you get into conversation with your capital S higher self. There's so many ways to be in prayer. So let's talk about that as a technology that you can use as part of your becoming. I'm having to be in conversation with all of these aspects of the divine lately as a way to resource myself, to continue to come back to the truth that I am not alone and it can never be alone as part of this truly holy community that is beyond the manifest reality. That I too am a member of this greater reality and am a member of this community of souls, of wisdom, of wise ones that are here to love and support me and be waymakers for me and for you. This is one of the things that becomes possible when you and I practice prayer. And always hand in hand with rest and stillness. So we have time to let all of these things integrate. So we have time to let the noise fall away and the chaos melt back, right? Resting into the spaciousness that is always available. The love that is always loving you, loving me. This is what it means to consciously be, consciously become. That's what I want to do this series. That's how I want to hang out with you this month. Please join me in knowing and experiencing a community of practice, togetherness that allows you and I to sip the sweetness of conscious awakeness to the truth that you are made of such goodness, with such good intention, with such love, like the big agape love. That is my prayer for us, that we become more and more awake and aware of that. That you become more awake and aware of the truth of who you are. And because you do that, you know the goodness of your own self as so, so, so good. And so it is.